Welcome to the Albizu Narvaez Political Commentary Report. It's been a while. What I like about the fact is I can't even remember how many volumes this is, which is a good thing. But it's been some time. There's been some medical and some other logistical issues. It's been a rough month, but I'm back. And we got a lot to talk about. There's so much going on. I mean, you look at the pandemic. Wow. We know about the new variant. I just wish everybody listening to this, including members of my own family, particularly members of my own family, would get the vaccination. Not everybody has, and anybody listening to this is going through what I'm going through. Everybody has a member of their family that's not vaccinated. And it would be really great. On a personal level, I lost a family member to COVID. As I'm recording this, I have another family member in the hospital as we speak. I have another family member fighting the disease, and perhaps getting vaccinated would help. But that's personal. But I say that and I want to share that because everybody's going through this. The pandemic is real. Get vaccinated, please. And then look at the abortion issue. My goodness, we heard 2 Supreme Court cases, and the whole bottom line is that Texas, as of this moment, still there's no abortion in Texas. And it's going to take Justice Roberts, Sotomayor, Breyer. It's going to take all their persuasive powers to convince Kavanaugh, who promised Collins that he considered Roe v. Wade established law. That's why he got her vote. And now his questions, when you look at the transcripts, it's changing. Roe v. Wade is in trouble. And I just don't understand how women can support that. I just don't know how women vote Republican anymore. We know what Thomas and Alito are going to do. We know what Gorshin and Amy is going to do. The whole key is Kavanaugh. Kavanaugh can become the hero. He can become the Blackburn of the 21st century. And historical people will know what I mean by that. He could be that great person, that great jurist. Or he can be a pig and a bum. We'll find out. There's no in between. Then you got the rule of law. Wow, so much going on. Yes, Garland's doing his thing, but you know what Garland's issue is? And the Democratic issue is? We do things right. Garland is a rule book guy, and he does things by the book, no matter how long it takes. But boy, is he good. He's getting them all, one at a time, at a slow pace. He's not like Barr. Barr was a crook. And he's not like Mueller. Mueller was a chump. And I'll talk about that real quickly. But, you know, Mueller should have stood for his report. And when Barr bastardized it, he should have opened his mouth. He didn't. That's a chump. But what the Republicans are counting on, what McCarthy and McConnell are counting on, is they really think that by cheating, they're going to get power again. And they're using every slow tactic in the book to make this investigation go as long as possible. They're going to lose. This report's going to come in right before the midterm election. It's going to destroy them. Fine. But the rule of law is still in question because you get some black people exonerated for something that happened 50 years ago, like in the Malcolm X case. And you get some justice for the horrible murder of black Americans. And then you get this white punk who goes interstate with an AR-15, goes to a protest, kills 2 people, and gets acquitted because of a bigoted judge who wouldn't even allow the prosecutor to call the people who died victims. So the rule of law is still in trouble. And we'll see what happens. But trust Garland. I have confidence. It's a team he's put together. And they're doing it. Bannon, Stone, Jones, Trump Jr., Trump, the other kid, Ivanka, they're all going to go. They're all going down. One at a time. Meadows, It's going to happen. But it's just amazing that almost 1/3 of this country are basically Trumpsters. They're following a false god. They're following a fascist, tyrannical grifter, and that's a shame. So the rule of law is still in question. But the legislation's going pretty good. I mean, we did have the, American Rescue Plan. Did a lot of good for a lot of people, Republicans and Democrats and independents alike. And the infrastructure bill is not a Republican bill. It's going to help Tennessee and Kentucky just as much as New York. It's amazing how people just don't see that. But why is the Build Back Better plan slowed down? That should have been law already. And that's what we should be following for the rest of the year. Manchin is chipping away, and Sinema is chipping away. And so when this process is over, I hope that this is their last time as senators, because they're not senators. Manchin's is a businessman in the coal and oil industry, and Sinema is just an opportunist. They don't belong in the Senate. About 40 of those senators don't belong in the Senate. But those two in particular are harmful now to America and to the benefits of people. And then finally, my other topic I brought up, voting rights. Why is that still not done? That's another thing. It's just sitting there. Come on. Schumer, Pelosi did her job. Schumer, let's go. Push the Senate. Get it done. You got Murkowski as a backup vote in case Sinema or Manchin balk. So let's go. Before this year is out, voting rights have to be passed, and the Build Back Better has to be passed. Those two things must be passed. Rule of law will still be an issue. Abortion will still be an issue. The pandemic is the pandemic. But those two issues must be passed. But now, let's move on to what I really wanted to talk about today. Believe it or not. The issue for today really is something that's got my dander up. West Side Story. The play and the film West Side Story. My goodness. Here's a fact now. Now that 60 plus years have passed since the original play and the original film, it is clear evidence, factual evidence, that what the West Side Story did to the Boricua community, my community, Puerto Rico, both in the Puerto Ricans in the diaspora and also in the island, it painted us in a label that we haven't been able to shake since. See, we were considered the sharks. The sharks, the bad guys, the metaphoric Indians to American cowboys, the Polish whites in the film and in the play. And it messed us up. When you look at the West Side Story, it's really nothing but a bastardization of the great Shakespeare Romeo and Juliett story. And when Laurent wrote the play, the book, and Lehman, their hearts were in the right place, but they didn't see the effect. And then when Robbins came on board to direct it, and then Bernstein and Sondheim came here with the music, the score, and the lyrics. Bernstein was the only one, let's give him credit, who argued against using Boricua as the ethnicity. To his credit. The others, forget about it. Sondheim, rest in peace, he just passed away, but he even confessed that he hadn't even met a Boricua prior to that, doing the lyrics for the West Side Story. Think about that. So aggravating. And we fell for it. And most white people, not all, most white people from that moment on, because the West Side Story was such a great success. I mean, it's the most produced play in the last 50 years, 60 years. And the movie won a million, you know what I mean, won all the Academy Awards, a bunch of awards. So that means a lot of people saw it. Millions saw it. And millions said, ooh, Boricua, ooh, Puerto Rican, ooh, sharks. Oh, I don't want my daughter or my sister with those people. Man, what a horror. It did so much damage. I don't care. People can argue all they want. Facts are facts. It did the damage to the Boricua community. And now what's aggravating is that here in 2021, what the heck is Steven Spielberg and Kushner? These are genius artists, plethora of stories. What are they doing with the West Side Story? And their justification, well, we want to make it, I'm not going to even verbalize their justification because it's not justified. And what bothers me is that half of the Boricua community are swallowing it up just like they did it 60 years ago. It's hurtful. The West Side Story is hurtful. I mean, I made a comment and I'll stick to it. Maybe it's time for a Puerto Rican writer to do a West Side Story about the Jews who killed Palestinians. How's that going to go over? That's metaphor is the damage that the West Side Story has done for the Puerto Rican community. It has damaged us. It's stereotypes to the nth degree. For 60 years, we're considered gang members, gang bangers, dealers, people that you don't want your daughter with or your sister with. And that's terrible. Women that you don't want your son with or nephew with. That's terrible. And what the West Side Story 2021 version is going to do, yeah, they're going to talk, they're going to show the music, and they're going to try to give some backstory to make it, so that we don't look like animals. But that's not the point. And what's so disappointing is that Kushner and Spielberg know this. I mean, what's the motivation for doing this? It's not to help us. It's just to make money. So the West Side Story, I'm sorry, West Side Story can kiss my ass. Nobody should be. This movie, I hope it flops. With all the things that are going on in this country right now. We don't need it. When I say we, the Puerto Rican community, the Boricua community. Puerto Rico is finally getting close to some type of possible freedom, some possible independence. And we don't need this garbage right now. So that's what I wanted to say. That's really what I wanted to say today. Anyway, if you like this, I hope you do. I hope this is useful. It's helpful. It's true. It's brutally honest. It's bare bones, but it's true. And we need truth in the year 2021 and 2022 and from now on. We need facts. It's rough out there. It's really rough out there. And we know it. So if you like this, well, subscribe, like, dislike, and till next time. There'll be more of these the way they used to be. They were running one a week, sometimes twice a week. It's been a month, but for better or for worse, bye.